The Super Mario franchise is known for its wide variety of items and power-ups. Ranging from the simple mushroom to characters such as Cappy in Super Mario Odyssey, there are many power-ups that help Mario on all of his journeys. I decided to pick up my personal favorite 2D Mario game, Super Mario Bros. 3, and play with a major handicap. This handicap is completing the entire game without the use of these handy items and power-ups. Before this video goes any further, I have set my YouTube goal for this year to reach 1,000 subscribers. Help me reach this goal and join the community if you like this content. Thank you! The rules to this challenge are rather simple. I cannot use any items or power-ups in the game, with the exception of the 1-up mushroom, because I need all of the lives that I can get. If I do pick up any items within this run, I have to die in some way and mark it as a death. With the rules figured out, it was time to begin this interesting challenge run, and to figure out if it is possible to beat Super Mario Bros. 3 without power-ups. The challenge starts in World 1, Grassland. Overall, World 1 did not present itself as a challenge. The entire world went very smoothly, and I didn't have a death throughout the first 7 levels. Then, of course, a treasure ship appeared. This, in my opinion, was one hell of a first death. No problems. Can't get hit. Let me add a death. Let me add the first death to the game. After being killed by a boomerang bro, I got to the first airship level. I found myself being rather careless for 3 tries until I got through it on my 4th try. What can I take away from this world? That it is possible to complete it without power-ups. I ended World 1 with only 4 deaths in total. Following a very smooth start, I continued the challenge into World 2, Desert Land. I will admit, I surprised myself while playing through this world. I managed to get through 7 levels, including the fortress level, without dying. Although there were some close calls, I jumped onto World 2's airship confidently. Like the rest of the world, I got through the level rather smoothly and approached Morton. It to the Koopaling, don't know the name. Is that Roy? Whatever his name is, is it Morton? Roy? One of them. Now, I didn't let such a minor setback stop me from continuing, and I defeated the Koopaling on the next try. After only dying once in World 2, and completing the world without a power-up, I entered World 3 with only 5 deaths. Every time I play through Super Mario Bros. 3, I dread going through Waterland. It's not a difficult world, I just despise water levels in general. I began the world and got through the first 2 levels without any deaths. This of course didn't last long, and the careless mistakes began to make themselves known. I died twice in the 3rd level, and that was pretty much it until the airship. Going in, I knew Wendy Koopa was going to be difficult. Luckily, on the 3rd attempt, I defeated World 3 while only dying 5 times, totaling my death count to 10 going into World 4. World 4, or Giant Land, has always been one of my favorite worlds in all of the Super Mario franchise. I didn't know how well I'd manage, however, given the challenge. Level 2 saw me being careless for 3 lives, however that was the majority of the struggle in World 4. I died once in the first fortress and flew through the remainder of the world untouched. Iggy Koopa was defeated in 1 try, and my World 4 death count saw only 4 deaths, bringing my total in the challenge to 14. Skyland is when Super Mario Bros. 3 switches gears. The difficulty begins to spike at this point in the game, and it shows. Considering I am as fragile as glass, the levels become a little more unforgiving. I died twice in level 1, and that was just the beginning. After dying twice in level 2, I escaped the first half of the world with only 1 close call. Something that happened a lot during this challenge was me jumping under the random item card located at the end of each level. Let's just say, Lakitu punished me on level 4. I got to the fortress in the second half of World 5, losing only 2 more lives. I managed to approach Boom Boom on my 2nd try, and made quick work of him. Before I got to the airship, I died an additional 4 times, and defeated Roy without breaking a sweat. Although I died 14 times in World 5, the challenge continues into World 6. Upon my arrival into World 6, Iceland, I was staying optimistic. I hadn't been stuck on a level due to the inability to use items, and my death count was lower than I expected. Deep down though, I knew this world would not be easy. From here on out, I die a lot, so I will not be addressing every single death. Something that I noticed early on was that World 6 was built for you to tank hits. Level 1 supports this thought. These guys make this challenge extremely hard. They can be oddly unpredictable, however, there is a pattern that works most of the time. Along with this, World 6 showcases many tight corridors and enemies that will punish you. By the time I got to the first fortress, I had died 35 times. The challenge is in full force. While playing through this fortress, I had this first time experience. I need more lives. Be an extra life. No! Thankfully, I beat Boom Boom on the next try. Surprisingly, I continued on without much of an issue, but this didn't last long. I approached the second fortress and struggled a ton. This fortress uses these conveyor belts a lot, and it makes traversing the level extremely difficult. Along with this, there is a section where you have to jump across 2 ghost platforms while avoiding 2 death waffles. I could not beat this section. Thankfully, after some time, I got lucky, continued on, and defeated Boom Boom. All that was left for this dreadful world was the airship, led by Lemmy Koopa. I died a few times from silly mistakes, however, I managed to defeat Lemmy to finish World 6. I died a total of 45 times, but did it all without items. On to Pipeland. With just going through hell in World 6, I instantly noticed that Pipe World, World 7, was much easier. I began to fly through these levels with a certain level of ease. I was enjoying these levels, and going through them as if it were still early game. As I approached the fortress, things took a turn for the worse. It wasn't because of difficulty, instead much worse. This level requires the player to use a flying item to reach a pipe on the ceiling. After 6.5 worlds, I had not had to deal with this problem, but now the entire run is at risk. I made a deal with chat that I will use an item to get past the section, and then immediately take a hit to lose it. I did just that and continued the run. The levels to finish World 7 are much harder than the front half. After a game over, I made my way back and traversed the difficult levels. I made it to the airship level, but then this happened. Yeah, okay, so when he... Okay, so when he touches the ground, he's... Okay, I get stunned. Alright. Alright, let's see where that goes. I made my way back, again, and defeated Ludwig. I died a total of 35 times in World 7, and now the only thing left in my way was World 8, Darkland. Although the actual no items run has ended in the previous world, I still wanted to continue the challenge throughout the rest of the game. I purposefully took a game over so I could start with a fresh 5 lives. World 8 opens up with a couple of scrolling levels which are very difficult. The reason for it being so difficult is because the slow-moving screen forces the player to dodge cannonballs, Monty moles, and bombs in strategic ways. After some time and a lot of concentration, I beat both of these levels to move on to the next section of World 8. Here, there are 5 levels that will pull you in at random. My only option was to hope I don't get pulled into these levels consistently. After these levels is arguably the hardest level in World 8. It is another scrolling level, however much faster, with more things to dodge and with small platforms. This level took me a while to beat, mainly because every time I got a game over, I'd be forced to get through the RNG levels. With some concentration, I got through the level and headed on to the final third of World 8. This section is tricky, however the levels get easy once you get the hang of things. This was good for me, because the fortress gave me so many issues. One of the biggest things I had to deal with was this section. Perfect, okay. Get out of here. How in the heck? What? The only way to progress through the level is to break through these bricks to get to the door. I followed the rule from before, I took a mushroom to get past the door, and then I took a hit to remove the power-up. The second was the difficulty due to the precise timing in jumps to avoid getting hit. Along with that, the level is a maze, and I could not remember the correct route to get to the end. After a lot of time and a little help from chat, I got through the level. From here on out, there were only 2 levels left. The first was another slow scrolling level that was testing my patience, but not too difficult. The second level was the only one left, Bowser's Castle. I traversed through the castle, while dying only a few times, and at long last, I met Bowser face to face. I bested King Koopa and saved Princess Peach to end the challenge. With this challenge finally behind me, 161 deaths later, it is safe to say that it is not possible to beat Super Mario Bros. 3 without using any items or power-ups. There were 2 instances where I was ultimately forced to use an item to progress. With this all said, I had a blast playing through this challenge, even with its back half difficulty spike. I hope you all enjoyed the journey as well, and if you did, consider subscribing for more content like this. Thank you all, and have a great day. Hitboxes, man! And favor. No! I'm just gonna keep spamming. What am I supposed to do? For me. No! I screwed up! This way. No! Yes! Let's go! Let's go!